we are going to do the Mk8 PCV Valve retrofit. Now currently I have the CTS catch cans set up, which is okay, but this thing fills up way too fast, and it does end up just dumping oil into my turbo inlet pipe. And when I did my intercooler, I noticed that there was quite a bit of oil in it. So we're going to be swapping this out for the Mk8. All right, and here we have the Mk8 PCV valve, and this is going to be part number ending in 495B, along with the 034 muffler delete. This has the vacuum ports that we need to utilize for the full Venturi. Has a nice little Venturi in there to begin with, and then a good O-ring on it. A 1/8 MPT male to 1/8 MPT female, 1/8 MPT male to a 3/8 inch hose barb. That's for this little guy on the Venturi. This guy goes to the PCV valve, and this goes into the turbo inlet pipe, just like your normal PCV hose. This is a little bung that kind of caps off this little portion right here on the PCV valve, which is unutilized. All of this I'll put in the description, but other than that, let's go ahead and get this CTS catch can off. All right, let's see here. First things first, we got to remove the 10mm grounding nuts. I have a shaved down wrench ready to go. All right, now that they're loose, go ahead and spin them off. All right, and we just pop these ground wires out of the way. Go ahead and hit it with the 10mm. I'm gonna leave these two on since I really don't need them. You only need to remove cylinders 3 and 4. All right, 10mm bolts out of the way. Now for the clips, I'm gonna remove all 4. Just for ease of removal, I'm gonna remove all of these cam position solenoids. Should all be removed, along with this knock sensor down here. Pick that up, pick that guy up, that's 4. Pick the harness up, pick 3 up, that's 3. Grab yourself a pair of pliers for this N80 valve there. That guy should just pop off like that. And then grab your AN fitting wrench. All right, and this is a 5mm Allen. There we have it. First order of business is going to be this guy. It might be a little bit different of a fit compared to, man, that's perfect. That is a perfect fit. Now those are gonna be T30s. Got myself a T30 screwdriver. Start them off nice and slow. That one started. That one started. It did have new seal on them, which is good. Just kind of zigzag around until you feel them all start. You don't want to leave your cams open too long either. Get some debris in there, especially all this pulp. And you're not going to go crazy on these bolts either, you know, just enough to get it seated. When I'm looking at seating it, I'm really looking at ignition coil number 4 right here. You can see very clearly how it is machined to get that sealed just right, because I mean it does kind of wobble a little bit. And those bolts, they just stop. I mean there's no torque in them. It's just keep going and they stop. Really not a whole lot of torque needed on this. You're really just trying to get this O-ring seated right. Gasket, whatever. Alright, final torque to make sure I didn't miss anything. It's on there. Just feel good. 2, 3, 4, needs a little bit more. 5, 6, 7. Only 7 of them. All right. So we can put this vacuum hose back on. Come on. All right, so I had to end up using a pretty big little metal zip tie, oversized, and it's not perfect still, but that is really tight fit. So the Mk8 PCV valve, the vacuum barb coming off of it is much bigger than on the previous models. It has a huge lip right here at the end of it, and that's the problem. So even though this is not the tightest thing in the world, that lip is it's not gonna go past the lip, really. So I'm not too worried about it. The N80 valve is in, vacuum hose is in. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this clip out, therefore pulling that out and set that over here, I guess, for now. Or a flathead. I wonder if I can just do the flathead. Yeah. Flathead on the hose clamp. Get that guy out. Well, getting to that muffler delete is not going to be easy at all. So I'm going to try to make my life a little bit easier by pulling the inlet pipe off. Getting to the muffler delete is not going to be easy, so I'm going to pull the inlet pipe off to try and help me. So much oil in that, and it's like a milky oil too. It's not just normal oil. All right, and I think we're going to smoke test this after it's all said and done. Charge pipe, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna pull charge pipe. I'm not really showing you each and every step. I'm just kind of showing you my thought process on installing this. Just because if this is something you're doing, you should probably know by now the rough idea. But I'm super interested to see how this performs. I know data-driven MQB has done a lot of research and testing on it, and it all seems to be really, really promising. I think he's onto something. So that's what we're gonna do. I do plan on tracking this car in the future, and I don't really want a cloud of smoke to come out while doing so. Done a few autocrosses with it, but that was stock turbo. Now it's... So Data Driven said that he hasn't tested too much on big turbo setups. Now this is a huge turbo, but it is not an IS-20. It is a Vortex Standard. everything is just coated in a fine mist of oil from what I think is catch cans doing. All right, I'm gonna have to get a super extension on that Turbo Muffler Delete. That ought to do. That's pretty long. I think it's an 8 mil, maybe a 7. I think it's OEM 7. I'm gonna just go ahead and call it with a 5 mil. Now for that, I've been using a little palm wrench, like one of these little palm wrenches with like a 1/4 inch drive on it for the Turbo Muffler Delete, which has always given me a headache. All right, so I got the turbo muffler out, but I can't get it out, so I gotta pull the battery. All right, 10 mil on the positive, 10 mil on the negative. Red first, black last. All right, 12 millimeter on the battery bracket. Battery. T30s or 10 mils, whatever. One. Where's my electric ratchet? There it is. All right. Electric ratchet is 3/8 inch, so 3/8 inch adapter to 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch 10 millimeter socket, lefty loosey. 1, 2. This one's a nut. 3. 1/4 inch extension, extra long. Battery cables out of the way. These cables out of the way. Fuse out of the way. Alright, just do that first, honestly. Bam. Okay. Yep, cool. Alright, now that the whole thing's torn apart, we can do the easy stuff. Alright, so this is going to be your Mk8 Turbo Muffler Delete. Now, size-wise, it's a little scary how different it is. I don't know. This is like a CTS one, I believe. And this is 034. Pretty substantial difference on the size. So before I do anything else, I think it's probably a good idea to see if this even fits. Which it frickin' does beautifully. Okay. Alright, so that fits very well, which is crazy. I don't know if I should build out the vacuum port first. I think I may. So I'm going to take a 5 mil. Where's my 5 mil? And it's not a 5 mil. Should I just install it? Say screw it? No. I'm gonna need something. Okay. Make sure that the O-ring is still in there, which mine is. Let me verify with a flashlight. So there's 2 O-rings in this situation. You got one O-ring that sits on the face of the turbo, and you got one that sits kind of deep in the back. Just make sure that the one that sits, yeah, it's fine. It's in there. I just replaced it like probably 6 months ago, so I'm not too worried about it. The longer bolts that 034 provides are probably needed because the plate on this Turbo Muffler Delete is bigger than by probably 2 times as thick. So I see why the bolts are longer. No qualms there. I think that's gonna be a good thing. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna pull these vacuum things off. It's standard. Why would they be standard? I don't know, but it's 3/16. But I don't know which one. So there's 2 on here. Let me see which one I want to use. I'm using the one to the left of the 034 mount. 034 emblem. And it's got Loctite on it. I mean, that's a good idea, but what do I know? So this is my 1/8 MPT going in. I feel like if this leaks, it's going to be a really loud whistle and we'll be able to hear it. But it's also got to clear the pipe. All right, here's what we're dealing with. We got 034 Turbo Muffler Delete, 1/8 NPT male to female adapter to a 3/8 inch hose barb with this hose clamp struggling for life on as little as it can grab because this is kind of in the way here. But right now, and you have to kind of have to pre-assemble it out of the car, so you can't just put the muffler delete in there and then expect to get this pipe on it, because I don't think that's going to work for you. But with all the O-rings greased up, ready to go in, just hope that it all lines up. Oh, which of course it doesn't. Alright, so this sits like this. Alright, so we gotta clock it. It's kind of like clocking a turbo, but not as fun. You have to build it out of the car. Kind of look at the, one more time, O-ring, O-ring. Alright, so after messing around with this for the better part of an hour, I finally got it right. So you have to just pre-install it. Your inlet pipe plus the turbo muffler delete plus all your MPT vacuum barbs and whatnot have to be pre-installed, which makes it difficult because you have to clock it just right or close enough to get this inlet or a boost hose onto the charge pipe. But then now the problem I'm running into is the MPT plug kind of like is a little loose. So I got to figure out a way to keep that tight in the kind of vertical orientation that I want. I may not need it in the vertical orientation, I don't know. But it's all in, it's torqued. That's the biggest obstacle for me. All right, so next steps are I'm gonna get the turbo inlet pipe in, get this hose plumbed up to it. So this to the barb coming off the muffler delete, and this to the turbo inlet pipe, and this to the PCV valve. And then I gotta get the bung, this bung right here, in on the PCV valve, right there. And then gotta put this charge pipe back together and we're done. All right, first step, turbo inlet pipe. O-ring is good. And get it started. Well, yeah, let's do this first. I'm sure I'm gonna regret that later, but this just takes some finessing from doing it so much, but it's not hard. T30 screwdriver. Let me go ahead and knock this charge pipe out while I'm here. I use 2 boost clamps right here, just because I've had this pop off more times than I can count. I'm gonna do this little guy, silicone spray. Start by fishing it through. That's gonna go down there. That's gonna go under here. Clip And then this guy will go through here. This is really not an incredibly easy install, especially with a bunch of aftermarket stuff around here trying to make it all work. Oh, come on. Ow. Ow. Okay. Ow. Golly. Oh. Ow. Ow. Ugh. Charge pipe is in, inlet pipe is in, and the hose barb is connected. Now for coils, coil, clip, 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 clip. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cam position solenoid switches, knock sensor, 1. All right, stud, stud, 10 mil, 1/4 inch ratchet, 1, 2, 3, 4 ground straps, 1, 2, 3, 4 grounding nuts, 10 millimeter, 4 grounding straps torque. All right, battery tray. Nut on the back. Bolt. Can you tell I'm getting tired? Bolt and bolt. Extension. 10 mil. No extension. Solid battery. Negative, positive. All right, I'm gonna smoke test it. To review, we had to remove the catch can, we had to remove the turbo muffler delete, inlet pipe, charge pipe, and the N80 valve. Putting the N80 valve on, this PCV valve barb is bigger than the catch can or the Mk7 barb, so I had to use an oversized metal zip tie. As for the turbo muffler delete being the Mk8 with the boost tap, you have to pre-assemble it. At least with the DFG tuning charge pipes, you have to assemble it out of the car, clock it just right to be able to match it up with this charge pipe and match it up with the bolt holes. So just eyeball it, get it close, adjust it, do it again. The 5 millimeters that came with the 5 millimeter Allen bolts that came with the turbo muffler delete, use those. They're longer and thicker face on the muffler delete. Make sure both O-rings are in there. You have one on the back of the turbo and one on the face of the turbo. Make sure you have O-ring on the turbo inlet pipe. The barb that is actually impossible to see right now. You can kind of see it. It's bronze down there. I actually had to Dremel the inside of the vacuum hose a little bit. It just wasn't going on. It was such a hard angle. So I Dremeled it out and got the clamp on there. Smoke machine's warming up. Let's see if she's ready. She is. Let's go off. Plug this guy in here. And then we'll pump. All right, so it's coming out of the bung which I honestly completely forgot to install. So let's turn it off. That's a good thing though. I mean, let's lube up that O-ring a little bit with some silicone spray. Just put this little guy. Nothing plugs up to it. All right, heat pump. All right, I got a little bit of smoke coming out from this guy. No smoke. No smoke coming out of the turbo muffler, which is a good sign. Yeah, so there's some smoke coming out of the, can you see that? Let me see. There's smoke coming out of the bung area. But other than that, nothing else. Just that bung. Which I don't know if there's going to be a ton of vacuum on that, so it doesn't matter, but nothing coming out of the muffler delete, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, it's just pouring out of the bung. Which is fine, I guess. I don't know. Alright, first start, let's see if she blows up.